practice for the Daytona 500. Trevor Bayne quickest. Matt Kenseth, Ford Toyota own the first two spots. Boyer Hamlin and Jimmy Johnson Chevrolet are the fast five at this point. A lot of talk in the offseason about big changes and the new race format for 2017.
2017 is a new era in NASCAR, where the world's best racing gets even better. While each race remains the same length, they'll now feature 3 stages. The length of each stage depends on the track, but one thing remains consistent all season. A stage win could be the difference between winning or losing a championship. Points will be awarded to each of the top 10 finishers of the stage, and the stage winner wins an additional playoff bonus point. The more playoff points you accumulate, the higher you're seated in the playoffs. A stage flag will fly at the end of each stage, followed by a caution flag, setting up the next stage. Drivers will have the option to pit before the next stage, but enter at your own risk. For stage 2, the same rules apply, and the goal remains the same: finish first. When the checkered flag flies at the end of the final stage, the race is over. Points will be awarded to all race vehicles. And to the winner goes the biggest prize: a spot in the playoffs and 5 additional playoff bonus points. Bottom line, the most exciting racing in the entire world just got even more thrilling. Buckle up.
Well, it's an interesting reset for 2017, and there are a couple of key terms here. First of all, playoffs. There is no more chase for the Cup. We have season-ending playoffs like other sports. Also, stages. They are not segments in the race. The race does not stop at the end of each of these stages. We have segments in the Clash tonight, segments in the All-Star race. This is different because at the end of one stage, we start counting the next stage right away under those caution laps when the teams have the option to pit. But it gives us a couple of resets in the race, allows us to run a higher percentage of commercials during caution than under green. There's a lot of opportunities here.
Yeah, I think that's a key word, opportunity. I think this is going to help maybe those middle of the pack guys. Maybe they do something a little different to win a stage. I think there's some opportunity there. I also think that these teams have been working really hard since this was announced as how we're going to utilize this to our advantage. And that's what we don't know until we actually see it in action.
Yeah, I would say opportunity and incentive, because now at that 1/3 mark sort of is where that stage 1 kind of lands. Now there's incentive. There's a reason to finish in the top 10 more so than just, hey, how am I positioning myself to get to the end of a 400 or 500 mile race? Now there's something that is actually there, attainable, that can help me not only in this race gain more points and get myself in a position to win races and playoff points. It's going to help me throughout the entire season and give me a better shot to go to Homestead Battle for the championship.
Now, a couple of other changes in effect this week for the first time since, I believe, 1971 or so. The Thursday dual races, the Can-Am Dual, that will pay points for the first 10 positions. Regular season points 10 down through 1. The other thing is, when is a race official in the event of inclement weather? It's always been when they take the halfway, the cross flags. No more. When the second stage is completed, the race is official. So we have to get to that point, and it's different at every track because NASCAR worked hard to make sure these didn't become economy runs to the ends of each stage. So length of fuel mileage and other factors were considered, so it will vary from track to track. We'll keep you up on it, but I think the fellows that are going to be running their calculators over time and they'll be smoking are going to be those crew chiefs, Larry.
Mike, there's no question that strategy, I think, is going to change. I think it's going to be a case-by-case basis because obviously the big picture is go to victory lane, win the race, hoist the trophy. But winning those stages are so important. So if you're not in that top 10, as you're closing out one of those stages, you're back there in the back. You may come and pit a little early, especially at some of the racetracks where the tires don't fall off. So I think it's going to be interesting, to watch what goes on the racetrack, obviously, but what goes on pit road, especially calls made by these crew chiefs.
So one of the things that was not in our graphic there was that they're going to close the pits with, if you're under green flag racing, let's say you're coming to the end of stage 1, the pits will be closed at 2 laps to go. When that leader gets to the line at 2 laps to go, they will close those pits. So the opportunity is there for the taking prior to that. Now you can wait try to play out the stage, get your points if you're in the top 10, and that bonus point if that's where you feel comfortable. But if you're thinking about the second stage, or you're thinking about flopping with your strategy and getting ahead of some of those that are going to stay out, you got a golden opportunity to do that prior to 2 laps to go in that stage.
So it's an adjustment, not a wholesale change. One thing's the same. We're going to run 200 laps here Sunday, and we're going to have a winner. And we're going to have a champion. Chances are these two guys will be right in the mix.